Okay. Yeah, hello everyone. It's Femula Pastor, and today I have a colleague here, and it promises to be very interesting. So he's going to speak to us about his scholarship program and some other important things you need to know. I had to come all the way to France to have this interview with our professor here. So the floor is yours. Thank you very much for honoring the invitation. Thank you very much. So the floor is yours.
Thanks,
you.
Femi. Thanks. Yeah. Happy to be here. Hello, everyone. I am Gbotoluwa from Nigeria, and I'm currently in France, in Bordeaux, pursuing a master in industrial engineering. And I'm at the end of my master at the moment. And prior to that, I was working as a project manager for about 3 years, and in the manufacturing industry, and that was where I developed the need to pursue further degrees in industrial engineering, because it's a field that I like. And before that, I got a bachelor's degree in mechatronics from Nigeria, from Bells University, and there I learned the fundamentals of engineering, which I then built on during my experience, and I'm now trying to improve now using my master's. And that's pretty much a sum up of my educational and professional background.
Okay, so in other words, you can say you belong to the engineering discipline.
I am an engineer.
Okay. Yeah, okay, thank you. So going forward, what's motivated you to pursue a master's degree program? Why did you decide to?
It was a need for improvement.
Okay.
I needed to upgrade my skills in. While I was working as a project manager, I started to notice that I needed some improvement. There were some things that I needed to know that I didn't know at the time. So I needed to be particular. I needed to learn more about how complex systems work and how to manage them and how to improve them.
Okay.
So that prompted the need to pursue further studies.
Okay, but why France? Why not?
Interesting question. Because there's so many destinations where you can get them. Even in Nigeria, you can get a master's degree.
Yeah.
First of all, France wasn't my first. I didn't start looking for masters in France. I tried Canada. I also tried the UK, but France struck me because, first of all, education is pretty cheap in France.
Oh, really?
So yeah, compared to the quality of the education, it is good. So there's quality education in France, and it is cheap, and there's a lot of diversity. They are really literally welcoming you with open arms to come and study. Bring your culture to France, and just they will add to you, in terms of education, and you also add to them in terms of your diversity.
Because I had a semester in France about 4 months, so at least I can say one or two things about the French academic system. Okay. It's quite excellent.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so what do you, you've been in France for like a year or thereabouts. So what do you find interesting about the French academic system?
Yeah, it's, first of all, the grading system is weird. Because it's a 20-point grading system, which I wasn't used to before. Normally we have like 100%. Or in the Nigerian system, you have a 5-point system. CGPA. But here it's 20, and it was pretty funny to understand where I needed to be like in the pass mark. So also the French system pretty relies on the French educational system doesn't only rely on exams. It's what they call continuous control. It's like from tests, from projects, and it contributes to a huge chunk of your final grade. So I came here and realized I needed to take presentations, tests, and quizzes quite seriously. Otherwise, there is you get some holidays. There's a spring break. There's an autumn break that you get. So you get some full weeks of pause in between the different seasons for you to adapt. So that's quite good. I haven't seen that anywhere else.
Okay.
Yeah. Aside that, it's a pretty good system.
So, interesting system. Yeah, and aside from that, any cultural shock?
Bro, yeah, definitely. Okay, not in the system, in the educational system.
No, just generally, outside the academic system. No.
First of all, the first day I came to France, I was at a zebra crossing.
Okay.
They call it a crosswalk here.
Okay.
I was waiting for cars to pass by. Like no system.
Yeah, I understand. I can relate.
But here, the drivers were telling me to go, and I was telling them go. Like, so yeah, basically as a pedestrian, you have right of way when you're at the zebra cross. They will wait for you, otherwise they lose points on their license.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a major cultural shock to me. Another one was the fact that French people speak French. Yeah,
that's no surprise.
Bro, I know it sounds weird, but I was expecting more English from French people.
No.
Especially here in Bordeaux, we're in the southwest. We're not in Paris, where there's more diversity.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was surprised. I thought that my Duolingo lessons would really help me communicate well on the first
but
day.
At least it did. It helped.
Yeah, it helped.
To an extent.
I'll be honest, it helped. But like, yeah, I needed to tune my ears more, and I was lost basically the first couple months because, yeah, it was.
Yeah, I understand that there are quite a lot of experience to share, but we need to move very fast so that we can share some of the important information with our audience.
Yeah.
So another thing I need to ask, or that the audience would want to know, is that do you need to learn or understand French to study in France?
Yes and no. I'll take the no first because there are courses that are taught fully in English in France. It's a very good thing. Thumbs up to the French educational system for doing this.
Okay.
But to live and integrate into the French society, you need French. If you wanna live and work here after, it's good to start learning before you even come to France because it will help you integrate better. You can find jobs, you can find opportunities. Because it's advisable to have a good level of French before coming. But if you don't, when you get here, there's so many resources you can use to learn.
Perfect.
So I'm definitely gonna advise it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you about concerning that. Now, I also want to ask, because we know that you are a scholarship recipient. It's a French scholarship.
Yeah, it's
even though I've not really heard so much about it, so it's one of the reasons why we're having this awareness, so our audience can know about the scholarship and what they can do. So can you tell us briefly about the scholarship?
Yeah, absolutely. It's called the Eiffel Excellence Scholarship. It's Eiffel, named after the Eiffel Tower, and it's issued by the French government. So basically it allows you. It's targeted at international students that are coming to study in higher institutions in France at master's and PhD level, and literally anyone can get this scholarship as long as you're 25 and under. Oh,
so it's not for people above 25?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately there's an age limit. So 25 and under, anyone can apply, and basically they give you a stipend of 1,181 euros monthly throughout the duration of your program. So you can apply at the master's level.
Okay, master's level.
Yeah, for 2 years. So master's is always 2 years or 1 year. In my case, it was a year. So 12 months.
See.
So they gave me stipends for 12 months.
Okay.
Yes. At the PhD level, 3 years. They give you stipends for 3 years.
Okay.
1,181 euros a month for 3 years.
Okay, so it's for masters and PhD only.
Yes. So they basically just give you stipends. They don't cover your tuition.
Oh, so because I was about asking if it's a fully funded scholarship.
It's not fully funded. But normally, in the French system, if you're able to there's some programs where you don't really pay much as tuition. So you only pay like 240 euros, which is like the national fee. Okay. Yes, so there are some schools
for a semester.
For a section.
For a section,
243. It's the national fee that French students pay.
Okay.
But normally it's not applicable to international students. But there are some selected schools where it applies to international students.
For a year, you pay that amount. 200. Wow.
It's basically like a scholarship.
This is interesting.
This can be another video.
Yeah. Okay.
Talk about that.
Oh, nice. So we'll be looking forward to that. So this is quite interesting. It is not fully funded, but you would be paid monthly for your upkeep, about 600 and how much?
No, 1,181 euros.
Okay, 1,181 euros every month.
Every month.
Wow. That's quite interesting. So in a way, it's not fully funded because your tuition is not covered. But like you said, the tuition is quite very, very affordable.
Yeah,
that's interesting. So does it permit you to work like as a scholarship holder? Can you work as well?
Yes, you can.
You can work.
Yes, just like any other international student in France. Your visa grants you a work permit to work 20 hours a week.
20 hours a week.
Yes. So
okay, interesting.
965 hours a year.
Okay.
I'm not sure of the exact figure.
Okay.
So you can work.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So another question I would like to ask is, what are the minimum requirements? Like maybe, you talked about age as a limitation that okay, if you are above 25, you can't apply. What are the other things that you can say, okay, these are the minimum requirements in terms of maybe academic grades, anything you think the audience needs to know about the minimum requirements? What are some of the minimum requirements that comes to mind?
Okay. They're not really hard on requirements for this scholarship.
Okay.
Even though they say it's merit-based, but they are more focused on your motivation. Okay. So you need to be able to write a very excellent motivation letter.
Okay.
And you just need to have the basic requirements that let you get an admission. Okay. For example, if you're going to the master's level, you need to have a bachelor's degree.
Okay.
And you need to have at least basically, as long as you don't have a fail, as long as you have a merit, basically, I don't know if it's called, as long as you have, I think in Nigeria, a 2-2.
Okay.
Yes. I think
okay.
You're
a
good
second
to go.
class.
A second
lower.
class, yes.
Lower. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And yeah. As long as you have a bachelor's degree.
Okay.
If you're going for the master's level, you just need to work on your motivation letter.
Oh.
Basically. So once you can be, I'm going to talk about this when we talk about how to apply.
Okay.
But once you have the requirements to get into a school,
okay,
then you automatically have the requirements to be eligible for the scholarship.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. So what you're trying to say in essence is that for every program you are applying to, they have their own specific requirements. So as far as you meet their requirements, the basic requirements of admission for the program you're applying for, it qualifies you to apply for the scholarship as well. Okay,
that's out of my mouth.
Yeah, that is perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would like to ask this question because sometimes people ask this kind of question that okay, if I get a scholarship or I apply for a program and I'm given admission and I get the scholarship, does it permit me to bring my spouse and my kid? Is there any provision for this, or it's not permitted from your experience?
I'm single. Like I don't.
Okay.
I don't have a family.
Okay.
But I think I'd have to confirm. But normally, I don't know if the student visa allows you to bring dependents.
Okay.
Yes, I'm not sure. Because it has nothing to do with the scholarship. Scholarship doesn't help you.
Okay.
To answer your question.
Okay.
But to go further, I think it's the same rights you get with your student visa applies. Okay. So it's a matter of the student visa or the type of visa that you're getting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's move forward to the most important part of this question.
Yeah.
How can one apply? How is the application process like? Do you need to get an admission from a university first? And is it all universities in the country that qualify for the scholarship, or are there selected universities?
Yeah.
And are there selected programs? Because there are some scholarship that will tell you that certain programs are eligible for the scholarship.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a bit more about this and how can one apply, just in a nutshell?
I'm going to try to summarize.
Okay.
I'll tell you and highlight the important points.
Okay.
Not every university is eligible. So basically, universities recommend you for the scholarship.
Okay.
So the application process starts from you applying to the university.
Okay.
And then university applies to Eiffel on your behalf.
Okay.
So that's how it goes, not the other way around. It doesn't go to the Eiffel first and then to the university.
Okay.
So basically, how it happened for me was, I went online and searched on Google, basically the schools I wanted to go.
Okay.
I typed it.
Okay, that was the first step.
Yeah, that was the first step.
You search for your school of interest.
Yes, and then you put Eiffel Scholarship in front of it.
Okay.
So now these schools have a separate page on their website for the Eiffel Scholarship to tell you the process. So the minute you find that page on any school, you know that they can recommend you for the scholarship.
Okay.
Some schools don't. Okay. Some schools I didn't find pages, so I wrote to them to ask them, do you help students? And they said no, unfortunately. They didn't give the reasons why, so I don't know the reason.
Okay.
So when I found these schools, I found about 3 schools. Advisable to find 3 or more. You can. Okay. Then you check their procedures. The procedures will normally be, they will tell you to apply to a program.
Okay.
Which means you write emails to the departments, maybe the professors in charge of those programs, or you apply online. Then once you get a favorable response from these programs within the school, then you write back to their scholarship departments. Okay. Yeah, and they will send you the list of documents you need to provide. Okay. Basically, you need to provide a motivation letter. Okay. You need to provide your transcripts of records, your bachelor degree certificates, whichever degree your certificates. You have to provide a couple other things. Okay. I can give you the list that you can attach
to the description page.
Yes. Okay. But they are the basic documents that everyone will have.
Okay.
And then when you send these to them, they just get back to you and tell you, okay, we've received your application. We will let you know if you qualify, if we will be sending your application forward to Eiffel, because they receive several applications from other students. Yeah. So I think each university has a quota. They have a number of students that they can recommend per year. Okay. So they will tell you that, okay, we will tell you if we will be forwarding your application. Okay. They will normally give you this response around December. Okay. So the timeline starts from October. The scholarship opens in October. I think early October. Okay. So it's best to start early October to start applying. Okay. Yeah, very important. Yeah, the minute it renews now. So next month. Okay. Yeah, the minute the process renews, you start searching for schools, start writing to the schools. Okay. And yeah, basically, so you write to the schools, and yeah. So what I did was I wrote to 3 different schools. Okay. And by December, one of the schools confirmed that they were sending my application. Oh. One thing to be careful about is that 2 schools must not send your file to Eiffel, or you are automatically disqualified. Oh. So you need to be careful about that. Okay. Very key, but at the same time, you can't rely on just one school. Okay, so what do you do in that situation? So what I did was, that's why it's good to start early. Okay. Because the schools will inform you if they are going to be sending your file forward before they send it. Okay. So if, for example, you've sent applications to 2 schools. Okay. And both schools respond to you to confirm that they will be sending your application. Okay. You can call one of the schools off. Tell them, no, please, I already found another school and they are sending my file forward. Okay. Very key. So they will tell you before they send. Oh, that settles it then, because I was like, what if it happens? It's not really your fault. Yeah. But like you said, they would inform you before. Yeah, they should inform you.
So do you have to pay for an application fee?
No.
So it's free?
It's free. You're free to do what you want.
Oh, perfect.
Apply to as many schools.
No application fee. And do you have to, at any point in time, to submit maybe an English language test proficiency?
No.
Certificate,
but maybe some schools require.
Okay, so this is dependent on the school. So some, like in his case, he did not have to submit an English test result. He did not have to pay an application fee. So it's just about going through the website, see the documents you're expected to submit, and put these things together and submit. So it's so easy. It looks so easy and straightforward. Yeah. And I would also like to ask, because of our audience from Nigeria, there are some with HND, and they are like, can we apply with our HND degree, or does it have to be bachelor's?
That's a good question. That's a good question. And I think it depends on the school. Okay. Again, yes. Okay. I don't know anyone that has tried to apply with an HND. Okay. But I know it's a recognized certification from Nigeria. Okay. So it depends on. So you need to talk to the school. You need to write to the school. Okay. So the very important thing in applying for Eiffel is communication with the school. Okay. The schools are willing to communicate with you via emails. Okay. Yeah. So you write to the people responsible for any program you're applying to. there might be delays because they have so many students. So just be patient with them, send them follow-ups to ask these questions. Sometimes they only just need you to translate your certificates to them for them to understand, okay, this is an equivalent, so they can understand the equivalent of that certificate in the French system. And once they find that out, then it's very easy for them to accept you, you know.
All right, thank you. These are already tips. So on the final note, are there certain tips or advice you would like to give a prospective applicant? Maybe one or two things they should avoid, or one or two things they should try to tidy up before applying. So one or two tips.
Definitely. The first step is start early.
Okay.
October, I think first or second week of October, they roll out the new scholarship application.
Okay.
And you should start searching. In fact, if you can start searching for your schools before October.
Okay.
So if you already have a list of 10 schools that you're sure can recommend you for school, you start writing to them in October, the minute the scholarship opens. You get responses from them, and then you can proceed. The second key thing is, remember, only one school must send your application finally to Eiffel.
So this means that you have to be on your email at all times.
Yes, you have to,
in case you apply to more than one.
So yes, you have to make sure of that. So because you must remember, you're applying to the school, and then the school applies. So there's two processes, two stages rather of the process. Okay, and the third thing would be for your motivation letter. It doesn't have to be really elaborate. You have to remember, you're writing to French speakers. You're writing to native French speakers. So, I'm not saying French people suck at English, right? But don't use too many big words. Just be very plain and honest about your. They basically just ask you about your future, your prospects in the future, your long-term plans and your short-term plans. What do you want to do with the scholarship? What do you want to do with the course that you're going to study? How? And you need to highlight the need. You need to highlight your passion to go back to your country, to improve, to use the knowledge that you're going to learn from whatever program you're studying to make some change in your country. This is key because we all need to do this, right? So this is something you need to highlight a lot in your motivation letter. It doesn't have to be really long, but just highlight these points. And I think with all that, the chances of getting the scholarship is really high. It's about 30%. So normally they're usually like 1,000 applicants a year, and they would normally give about 300 students. So it's a 30% chance of getting selected.
Yeah. So I think this is elaborate. It's well detailed. So in case you need more information about the scholarship, or maybe there are specific questions you might want to ask, GB, we are going to get his contact details, so you can reach out to him to ask questions. And we would also see if we can have more of this section. We can probably make more videos to explain some specific things based on the questions you have. So you can comment on this